I'm Datta. I am the product manager for VMware Tanzu Transformer. We were formerly called VMware Arya Migration. We now have a much focused name which aligns with our vision and our goals. With me is Matt Just, and together we'll be talking about how Tanzu Transformer can help you when you have goals towards optimizing your applications across clouds as you are making this journey between in a multi-cloud kind of an environment. So just to set the context, when customers start their journey towards, yes, I want to be in multiple clouds due to several reasons. Typically, they take a cloud first approach, which is just jump in. There is a mandate to reach there fast. Typically, there is not much of an analysis involved, which eventually leads to some kind of cloud chaos. Either the performance is not up to what you were expecting before, either cost is not matching with your expectation that you had, or the availability does not match. And what we suggest as VMware is you take a very measured cloud smart approach to make sure that the decisions that you are taking and the actions that you are making as part of this multi-cloud journey are well measured and reliable, right? And that is what Tanzu Transformer is here to help you with. Now, when customers are faced with this question of, yes, I want to move some of my applications to a second cloud, typically they start with these questions. And these are the good set of questions to start with if you really want to be cloud smart about your migration or transformation, right? The questions are, what are my applications? Because it is a high churn, typically customers have very high churn environments, applications come and go. You need to have a live handle on how your infrastructure is, how is it organized into applications? That's the first question. The second question is, I have a list of, let's say, 100 applications. Which out of these do I do a lift and shift to my designated target cloud? Which out of these are best suited for an optimized lift and shift, perhaps? And which out of these are best suited for transformation? Could be use of PaaS services on public clouds. Could be converting these into a containerized world and utilizing the benefits thereof. Yeah. The third question is, yes, I have identified this categorization. What would be the impact of it? It is not only the impact on the apps that you are modernizing, transforming, or moving. It is also the overall impact on the ecosystem, the rest of the ecosystem that you have to understand on how will these apps perform together as a whole when I make this movement to multiple clouds, right? And the fourth question is, how do I actually make this happen, right? I have a plan, but how do I actually go ahead and execute it, right? That's the fourth question. And the last one is, I am part of the migration team. I followed a watertight process to go ahead and move some of my apps to the target cloud. How can I show to my stakeholders that this project was successful? And even if there are continuous migrations or continuous transformations, so to say, how can I show that these apps are performing at the same level as they were performing before, right? So how do I measure success and demonstrate it? So these are the questions that you got to answer even before you start on your multi-cloud journey. And that is what would make you cloud smart, right? Is this being solved today? Yes, absolutely. But the problem is there are so many tools in this process that our customers end up using. They end up in a set of commonly seen challenges. The top one being tool proliferation. You don't know what is the status of your entire migration project in one shot, right? There are so many tools involved. You have to go to each of them, pull out a report, combine them, match their identities, and so on and so forth to be able to tell what is the overall status of your migration project, and risk mitigation becomes very difficult. Then there is offline discovery, right? Many of these projects do some kind of an Excel sheet based analysis, which very quickly becomes very stale, and it does not hold good to build a very good strategy for your migration or transformation. The third one is, of course, fragmented user experience, right? Because you have so many tools, the user of it needs to be aware and equip himself with the knowledge of all of these tools, and the learning curve is very steep. So by the time you learn these tools, the migration project is already halfway through, right? So it becomes very difficult. The last one is lift and shift versus modernization, right? It is with the lack of data due to the prior three steps, it is very hard to make this decision of what should I lift and shift, what do I modernize, and so on and so forth. You need a trusted advisor who can help you with these kind of questions and decisions. And that's where Tanzu Transformer comes into picture. With that, we set out a vision for us on this is how we should execute the journey of migration or transformation for the customers. And we split this out into 5 significant steps. The first one is discovery and assessment, wherein we discover customers' environment, and we provide a way of system logically grouping their environment and saying, okay, probably these are your apps. What do you think about them? And the customers go ahead and curate them. And we provide some sort of a sizing and TCO for the target cloud that they're moving to, so that they are well aware at a very high level on, okay, 100 apps, of them I am moving 30. If I move these 30, this is what it means on the target cloud in terms of cost, in terms of size, and so on and so forth, right? So that's the first step. The second step of it is planning, which is, yes, I have decided that these are the 30 apps to move. How do I split them into multiple migration waves? Who are the stakeholders I should coordinate with? The line of businesses, getting their approvals, and so on. How do I decide this 3 questions of which ones do I lift and shift, which ones do I transform, which ones do I optimize and lift and shift, possibly, right? And how do I set myself up for data? Now, this is all part of the planning process, right? You're not doing anything yet, but you're building a plan on how do I go about executing my migration. And step 4 is about actually executing it, right? Now, in case of VMware clouds, we have tools like HCX, which can help you make this movement. We tend to integrate with these kind of tools to help you make these movements happen. In case of native public clouds, there are several tools, and we intend to provide hooks wherein you can bring in your own tool and still track the overall migration process from assessment all the way till migrate. And the last part of it is continuous operations, or the measurement of success, right? Where we provide metrics, we match these identities of the applications across 2 worlds and help you realize whether my application is performing good, is it performing at the same level or even better when we move to the target cloud. Now, all of this, like Rachna was saying in her previous slide, is built with the power of VMware Tanzu Hub as the underlying platform. And this provides us access to a unified API layer that will help us build several cross-cutting use cases across multiple clouds, across different kind of management disciplines, and provide it to our customers in the form of a pre-built use case of migration, right? So that's what Tanzu Transformer is all about. That's the vision that we have set for ourselves. So where are we today, right? Where is Tanzu Transformer today? Today, we can do discovery of your on-premise vCenters, or in cases where there is absolutely no scope of live discovery, we also allow a file-based discovery of this infrastructure. All of this gets combined into kind of an analytics section where you do visibility and scoping. Here is where system is telling you that you have probably 100 apps. Do you think their definition is right? And you're curating them and so on. Plus, you are doing the choice of, out of these 100, these are the 30 that I want to move. These are the 30 that I want to optimize. These are the 30 that I want to transform. That's the part that you're doing in these green boxes. You're doing grouping and filtering. You're doing some kind of a traffic analysis. Now, this is a key thing, right? Many customers, while they understand their app groupings, they do not understand dependencies so easily. So, and this service can also do without agents, can basically look at the traffic pattern between multiple machines in your on-premise vCenter and say, well, if you move this application, here are 3 other dependencies that will exist in your source cloud. What do you want to do about it? Do you want to move them? Do you want to move this application back to the source cloud, or do you want to agree and understand, okay, there is going to be some kind of network flow between them and I'm okay with it? So those are the kind of insights that you get, and you can use it in your scoping exercise of which apps to move and which apps to not move, right? And the implications. As a next step, we have the target cloud analysis. So you have made a choice of these 30 apps. What is the sizing on the target cloud? What is the TCO on the target cloud, and is it acceptable to me? So you're doing some kind of simulation to say, what if I made these choices, this region, this kind of availability, these are the past services that I'll consume. So that is the kind of recommendation that this dark blue box brings about in the destination sizing and TCO.
So, Dada, quick injection here. Question on target or the potential customer for this. I'm seeing that you identified the problem earlier on, that our CMDBs are not extremely accurate. They're a bit stale. You're doing some stuff to help mitigate some of that, but I don't know if you're solving the holistic problem. So I'm seeing, kind of two sources, vCenter and file-based discovery, which of course is our CMDB, Excel spreadsheets, etc. How are you filling the gap and making sure that I'm capturing like everything? And I'm assuming we're talking about a data center, everything in my data center.
Yeah.
That may not be in vCenter or even in the file-based discovery.
Agreed. Yeah. No, that's a great question. In fact, we are often encountered with this question when we talk to our customers. Without going too deep, right now, yes, we are limited to vCenter based sources, but soon we intend to expand the scope to be able to discover other entities that these vCenter VMs are talking to, or applications are talking to. In addition, this file-based discovery piece that you see, although today is limited to bringing in vCenter workloads, will be enhanced to bring in additional workload that we may not be able to discover, but still affect the overall scope of migration, right? So that is how we intend to bridge the gap, plus the user analysis. One last comment that I would make is, this whole tool does not believe that we can solve this problem as a machine ourselves. It requires some sort of a collective intelligence. We recommend something, users look at it, they curate it, and finally we arrive at a balanced view of the entire inventory, right? And our goal is to take the user as close as possible to that balanced view. That's where we are going. All right. Perfect. So I'll talk about the last small box that is present here. So once you've done your analysis on which target cloud, what does it mean? The next step is typically breaking down this. You obviously won't move the 30 apps that you identified in one snap, right? You would basically break them into multiple waves and then move them in these smaller waves for reliability, for easier handling and things like that. So the system can help you build those waves on basis of several factors, such as capacity, such as their network communication, such as cost, and so on. And you will be able to export these out of the system if you want to build a third-party integration. Remember that all of this is still powered by ARIA hub layer, right? And everything is accessible via APIs also, so that it is easier for our partners and consultants to build integrations on top of it to fill in the parts that are not part of the tool yet, but are coming up, right? So that is where we end today, and we intend to execute on the vision that I was talking about in the last slide to complete that full picture.